Protect your margins. If we're ever in a coaching situation, you and I, first things I'm going to ask you are, what are your numbers? Know your numbers. Now, don't just tell me turnover. I get turnover. You've got to know what your turnover is. I get it. The first question I'm going to ask you is not how much you make, how much you keep, or what percentage of your turnover is your profit margin. You've got to have profit team in your business. You've got to have cash. Cash is king. Cash flow is where it's at. It's the most valuable resource in your organization. You aren't. Cash is. If you haven't got a cash reserve in your organization and you can't pay your bills on the due date when they are due, that's called trading insolvent. It's being illegal. It's under the corporations law in Australia. You cannot trade insolvent, and that's what insolvency is, not being able to pay your bills as and when they fall due. I've got a business degree. I get that. I studied corporations law, and I loved the simple definition of what insolvency means, or liquidation, or administration. And they're the outcomes of insolvency. Now, cash is king. So what do you want to, how do you make more cash? One is higher prices. That's cool. So that increases your turnover. So if your cost base is here, and this is where you're charging now, if you charge more, I get it. That's without, as long as your costs don't go up. Because sometimes to increase your profit means you need to add more value, which means that you need to invest more, which means that you have a higher cost base. Cost base is what you really want to be looking at in every trades-based business. How do you save money? And there's a whole range of ways to do that. One is look for waste in your business, look for inefficiencies, look for all of the subscriptions that you're paying that you don't need to. Look at your suppliers, who's supplying you, and how do you reduce the cost of the supply of goods or services that you have into your organization. And you want to really make sure that at any time you know exactly how much it costs on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to run your organization, and you need a cash buffer for say a month, or pick a number and always have that number or that amount in your bank account. We've got, every Monday morning we talk about what our cash position is and what our unpaid invoices are, because we have a 30-day cycle mostly with invoices. So we've got to be prepared for that. And I just paid, $6,000 worth of wages today, and I'll pay every second Monday as wages. And some of you will say, geez, that's low. Yes, we've got some overseas staff, which are lower than Australian. We've also got our business manager is here in the office, and that's next week is another 4 or 5K. So know how much it costs you to run your business. Streamline, get rid of waste, and negotiate again with your suppliers. So know your numbers, reduce costs, and talk to your suppliers about where you can get a cheaper service.